another episode of Airgun Detectives. Today, we're going to take the mystery out of the Tanfoglio 1911. This is the Tanfoglio Witness 1911 CO2 blowback. And I have to be honest with you, this is my absolute most favorite CO2 blowback pistol. Why? Because of how realistic it is. And as you can see, the gun doesn't come exactly like this. This is actually what it comes like. I took this thing apart, and this is one of the great things about this gun. You can completely field strip it. I mean, you can take this thing completely apart. And what I did is I just took it apart, little elbow grease, little polishing, and this is the product that we end up with. In fact, I'll do some future videos and show you how to do that. If you'll notice, this one also has real wood grips on it. And there's a way, this actually takes 1911 original grips. You have to do a little modification on the inside because the grip is a little underneath, the frame is a little swollen to accommodate the CO2, but that's not a problem. It's a very, very simple process. But as you can see, this was just a little polishing. Great thing about this gun, it's got a full dropout magazine, yes, that contains the CO2. As you can see, the CO2 is right in here. And that simply is loaded in through the side, and then it's got a little screw. You use an Allen. Got one right here. I like these type because they work very simple, and they're easy to grip. You just screw it in the CO2, and that's it. Loading these things, you're not going to load them through the front here. What you do is you actually pull these all the way back, and right in this area here, you drop your BBs down in here, which is fantastic. I like to put about 15 BBs. You put too many in there, it'll jam towards the end here. So I run about 15. What's great about these guns, these are made by KWC. You're going to see a lot of similar ones out here, and I'll show you all the different modifications in some future videos. What's great is you can buy extended magazines for these. So if you want to hold some more rounds, these pop right into the bottom, just like that. So now you have your extended magazine, which is kind of cool. Anyway, I'm very passionate about the 1911 because I carry this for work, not specifically this one. I carried a couple different ones. Para Ordnance, I carried a 1445, which carried 14 rounds. For years, undercover investigations, I carried the small Para carry. Love that gun. In fact, really hard to get to nowadays because Para quit producing those. Supposedly, another company picked them up, but I'm not so sure how their products are or what's happening with those. But anyway, back to the air gun. Fantastic. It's got full, as we said before, full blowback. Slide. If you'll notice, there's different versions of blowback. There's some that the slides go all the way back, like this one, which is very authentic. And you can actually see right through. Let's see here if we can get you on camera here. You can see right through the base of the magazine here, where the magazine well goes. But just a beautiful gun, fantastic trigger. The actual palm safety actually works. The trigger will not engage and fire unless there's pressure on that safety, and then boom. Nice trigger, probably right around 2 pounds, if not under just a little bit. Shoots around 300 feet per second, but hey, that's what you're going to get out of a CO2 blowback. You're going to lose some of your velocity because it uses the gas to push the slide back. But then that's why you get your single action only on this. So let's go on out to the range and let's see what type of velocity we get, and then we'll go from there and we'll try an accuracy test and a few other things. All right. We're now going to test the Tanfoglio Witness 1911 on the chronograph. Let's take 5 shots and see what the average we get. We'll be shooting the 5.1 grain Daisy zinc covered BBs. Those seem to be pretty accurate actually, and pretty good price on those. Okay, let's see what we get. Okay, shot number 1, 321, not too bad. Shot number 2, 315. If you'll notice, anytime you shoot a CO2, each time you shoot it, what happens is the CO2 cools. 311, it cools, because CO2 is in a liquid form. So as each time you fire it, it actually cools down more. And when it cools down, you don't get as much pressure out of the CO2. So your velocity decreases. 308. And let's do one more. 303. So we're above 300 feet per second. You can't beat that for, you know, basically a plinking gun that you're going to shoot some cans and maybe a little paper targets in the backyard. But anyway, let's move on to the next segment. Okay, welcome back. We're going to do just a quick trigger pull on our Tanfoglio 1911. These always usually average right around 2 pounds. So let's do a quick trigger pull and then we can move on. We've got our trusty Lyman trigger gauge here, and we have 1 pound, 15 ounces. You gotta love it. These are terrific triggers on these guns, and I can't say enough good things about the triggers on these. They're terrific. So let's move on to the next segment. We've got our Tanfoglio Witness 1911. Obviously our drop-free magazine, fresh CO2. Let's see what type of grouping we can get. It's probably about as far as you want to shoot this gun. We're at about 10 yards. So let's just see what type of grouping we can get. I'm just going to rest this, and let's see what we get. Let's do 6 and 7. Alrighty. And keep in mind, these are plinkers. They're not for doing anything but shooting a little BBs on paper, or shooting some cans, aluminum cans, what have you. In fact, let's see how well we do with aluminum cans. Alright, let's see how we do with some aluminum cans. Gotta take the safety off. And let's see the little one there. Got it. Turned it. There we go. Not bad for plinking. Really isn't. And that's your Tanfoglio Witness 1911. Okay, now it's time to wrap it up and give our conclusion on the Tanfoglio Witness 1911. Now keep in mind, I'm very biased when it comes to the 1911s. As far as air pistols go, and real guns, I have more 1911s than any other type of firearm. They're just so traditional. Carried one for years, as I mentioned before, and so I'm really biased when it comes to it. But I have to say, as far as an air pistol goes, this is amazing. In fact, that you can completely accessorize it with genuine 1911 parts, like the grips. You can absolutely field strip this entire gun. You can polish it, customize it any way you want. And there's KWC makes so many variations of these. They have some that have rails underneath them. They have the 3-dot sights, depending on which brand. And I'm going to feature some of those in the future. I even modified and made some custom barrels to extend the barrels on these, which increases the feet per second. So without a doubt, this 1911 Tanfoglio Witness is 5 stars. It's my highest rating, without a doubt. You need to add this gun to your collection. It is so much fun to shoot. The fact that you can get extra magazines and change the magazines out. I actually use this in my department holster to practice drawing, changing, doing magazine changes, things of that nature. But you know, if you become more proficient with this, you become more proficient with a real firearm. So again, 5 stars without a doubt. You need to add one of these to your collection. And again, thanks for joining us, where we take the mystery out of the air gun.